Yo, what is the deal, everybody? What is the deal? Welcome to another Raider Nation Unlimited. I'm your man, Wasted Talent. Share this thing out to all social medias. Shout out to the chat. Get wasted with your brother, Wasted. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Listen, look, there is news in Raider Nation. There are things happening. There's not a whole lot happening, but that doesn't mean that we don't cook. That does not mean we don't cook, guys. Listen, we are here for you every single day, man. Whether it's myself, whether it's the team, whether it's a short, we got to get into the OTAs, right? Things are about to come to a screeching halt for a little bit, and then things will pick up. We have the post-June 1st stuff that's going on, right? We're going to talk about some of that. You know, there are players that are out there available. You know, this is like almost like the third wave of free agency, damn near, right? But let me give my shout outs and salutations to everybody in the room. My guy DeMarcus Webb is always in the effing place. My dog Paper Chase, Rosetown native, Okie Raiders in the place. Oh my God, Anthony is in the place, ready to get blocked. Wasted in his City Trends outfit. Get that F up out of here. We got over 100 in the room. Get wasted with your brother, Wasted. Yo, my guy, Local Framer 801, Union man from my own heart, man. Shout out to my guy. So he's a framer. He's a man who works with his hands, a man of respect. Demox is in a place, fresh off the gulags. Oh my God, Jolly Roger Raider. Wow, cannot believe I got the notification today. What up, bro? Jolly Roger Raider. What's the deal? I don't know, man. Have I been shadow banned? I'm gonna be real with you guys. I am surprised my channel is as big and as popular as it is, man. Because there are a lot of people who do not get notifications. Guys, I need you to turn that notification bell on. I need you to hit that subscribe if you already haven't. My eyebrows will definitely be making an appearance. Shout out to Shadow Fox in the Shadow Realm, wherever you are, Shadow Fox. You have been sorely missed. And my guy, Marvel Masters, in the place, man. But here we go. My guy, Raider Province, in the place to be, right? Guys, there have been some great things coming out of OTAs, guys. Some great things coming out of OTAs, man. Look, it's funny, right? Like, there are players that were drafted that I'm going to be real with you. Wasted been told you. Wasted been told you. There were players that were drafted this year that your boy Wasted has been ranting and raving about, and those particular players are showing up and showing out in camp. And I don't want to ever hear in life that I am a terrible mock drafter. So there, get the F up out of here. But guys, listen, man, the Raiders have a lot going on in camp today. You know what I'm saying? You have the emergence of our rookie wide receiver, Dante Thornton Jr. He is making noise at OTAs like nobody's business. Chip Kelly is ranting and raving about one Dante Thornton Jr., man. And I'm going to be real with you, man. It is something that is not a surprise for me at all, right? You know, this is a guy that, to be honest with you, is something that you just can't teach. Now, Chip Kelly has noticed, you know, that his size and his speed is going to allow him to become an outside threat. He's super excited about it. And I quote, he goes, they're learning. And I think Dante is unique in terms of he's just a hair under 6'5", and he ran a 4.3. There's not a lot of humans on the planet that do that. And I think if you had to draw up an outside receiver, you would pick that type of body type, someone that's got length, pause if necessary, someone that's got a huge catch radius, and also someone who has speed. Sometimes you can just get a big guy like that, but he really can't run. But they can stay with him. So, you know, you add that speed element to him and his ability to sink his hips, pause again, and his ability to get out in and out of routes. Now, Thornton has a chance to become a star, man. And I'm going to be honest with you, man. I think every day that the camp goes on, people are going to realize what we have in Dante Thornton. Now, the wide receiver group is something that has been very, very interesting. This is a place where a lot of people feel like the Raiders could possibly go out there in free agency. They could possibly go out there and add some people post June 1st. We're going to look at some of the people that could possibly be available. There's not a whole lot going on right now with that. But oh man, had to get the coffee. But as I said before, you know, the Raider wide receiver room, when you start looking at the positional groupings on this team, was a place that people felt like, man, there could be some improvements. There could be some room for us to go out there and get a vet. There could be some room for the Raiders to go out there and make a move. There have been, you know, rumors about Tyreek Hill and all other kinds of nonsense, right? Be 100% real with you. The Raiders have 3 young players that they really, really, really need to kind of invest in. Now, this is a place, as far as the wide receiver room goes, where I am very, very open to the Raiders standing pat and developing these guys, because wide receivers are expensive, right? Wide receivers are expensive, right? And wide receivers are, you know, and I hate to say it, star wide receivers aren't a dime a dozen, but wide receivers are kind of a dime a dozen, right? So I would like to see the Raiders stay the path with Tucker. I would like to see the Raiders stay the path with Jack Besh. I would love to see the Raiders stay the path with Dante Thornton and not take any snaps away from these young guys. Because I think when you look at what can happen, and just based off of the fact that if you're looking for a person to take the defense's attention, you look none other than Brock Bowers, right? And then you add in the caveat of how Michael Mayer has been doing, right? And him developing, him kind of blossoming right before our eyes into the player that we expected him to be when he was drafted coming out of Notre Dame. And I'm going to tell you something, guys. This offensive unit can be scary. Scary. I'm going to say it again like Dr. Umar Johnson. Scary. This offensive unit can be scary. This offensive unit can be scary. And then you look in the backfield. Raheem Mostert as a backup, right? This is a guy that still has some snaps left in him. Guy scored a whole bunch of touchdowns, has a nose for the end zone and breakaway speed, right? Then you have Sincere McCormick, a guy that has been, you know, talked about, lauded, played well when he's got the chance. I for one, I'm a big Sincere McCormick fan. And then we kind of forget that we have a Zamir White on his roster. Zamir White might be the kind of player that would be more fancy to being a backup, right? So the Raiders are in a damn good position to really, really take a step forward. Now, we are in the toughest division in the National Football League, and we will get into that a little later. But we have the first super of the day, my guy, Raider Prophet. Given this much upgraded roster and coaching staff, how many games won based on play calling alone, in your opinion? Last season would have lost the 6. Now, look, just by virtue of the fact that we have better personnel, you know, and I haven't seen Geno Smith take a snap under center in silver and black, right? I know what Geno Smith has been in this league, right? So if I can kind of extrapolate what Geno Smith has done in other uniforms, especially under Pete Carroll, especially when he was with the Seahawks, right? If I get that Geno Smith, if I get 4,000-yard Geno Smith, just by virtue of that alone, if I'm getting 4,000-yard Geno Smith, that means I'm getting a better quarterback. That means that wins me minimum, just off of the shoulders of Geno Smith, 3 more games, right? Then, now, you have those games you got to grind it out. You got those games where it's a slobber knocker, as old JR would say. Shout out to Jim Ross, too. Man, you know, he's going through some stuff with cancer. Shout out to the WWE legend, right? Kenny Clark, appreciate you, my dog. But like I was saying, so when you start looking at that, Ashton Genty, if he is as advertised, if he is who we think he can be, Ashton Genty wins you another game or 2. Look, I'm going to be completely real with you. I would be completely devastated if the Raiders didn't at least win 8 to 9 games this year. I'm telling you right now, I would be devastated. I fully expect now as far as when we talk about the Raiders, you know, jumping spots and getting into the playoffs, that's a hard mix, right? That's a hard mix. There are a lot of teams that, you know, sometimes don't make it back, right? There's been a history of teams that lose in the Super Bowl, not making it back to the playoffs that year. Now, I don't think that you'll have that situation with Kansas City, but we can dream, can't we? So, man, I'm going to be 100% real with you. 8 games are bust. Anything less than that is uncivilized. 8 games or bust. Oh my God, man. Shout out to my guy, Raider Prophet, and thank you for the $5 holla, man. The best way to support the channel, man. Appreciate you, my dog. My guy, Snake Fist, Kempo Raider, the martial arts aficionado and master. Greetings, Wasted. I agree with you on wide receiver. Keep what we have and develop them. Spend money on free safety and maybe another linebacker. And yo, dude, I want to talk about it. Hey, did you guys get a chance? And we're not going to jump the turnstile. We're not jumping the line, right? Did you guys get a chance to check out Landon Roberts or E-Rob on the Max Crosby podcast, man? It was very, very informative. And there were some things about Landon that I had no idea because I don't get a chance to watch the Patriots much, right? I had no idea that they used Landon Roberts in that same way that they used to use Mike Vrabel. So Landon Roberts is a guy who got snaps at fullback. He got snaps in offense, right? So that kind of opened his world up as far as from the linebacker perspective and being a great defender. And I think, you know, when Landon Roberts plays for the Raiders this year, I think that we are going to get a guy that's going to be a treat to play for us. Now, you know, people say that Landon Roberts is you know, a better athlete than Spill, but if we're being honest, Landon Roberts is going into his 10th year in the National Football League. It's a little older than Spill. But the one thing that he looks to me is he looks to be, and just from, you know, athletic standpoint, his athletic profile looks to be a little greater than Spill right now. And Landon Roberts, and I think the beauty of, you know, his skill set, him being an explosive player, is the fact that Landon Roberts is a guy that can play outside linebacker. He can play the Mike. He, you know, so if Tommy Eichenberg steps up, or if the Raiders are in base defense more and they need 3 to 4 linebackers, right? Because we don't really understand at this point if they're a 3-4 or 4-3 team, right? I would imagine they're a 4-3 team. So if they're playing with 3 linebackers, Landon Roberts could be one of those linebackers. The one thing that the Raiders have been missing for ages and eons is a strong linebacker room, like a strong linebacker room. And I think we are on the precipice of that right now. I really do. I think we're on the precipice of that now. Shout out to my guy, Kempo, man. Appreciate you for the $10 slap-a-rooney, man. My guy, CGR, the Modfather Extraordinaire, gifting 10 Raider Nation Unlimited memberships to the masses. At ease, soldier. Appreciate you for growing the Wasted Talent Army and everybody out there, man. If CGR hooked y'all up, put a GOAT in the chat for my guy, CGR. Now, guys, I heard something about crowns or something like that. I got to put in the chat. Shout out to everybody on YouTube. Shout out to everybody that will be listening on the audio pod. It will be put up. So if you guys missed this is going to be on audio. It's going to be all over the place. It's going to be sick and silly. Going out there and pull on up. My guy, Luis Calderon, with his filth, talking about, don't you just love when Wasted makes up words? Now, bro, Wasted don't make up words, man. You know, Wasted don't make up words. What I'm doing is I am improving your lexicon. I am improving your lexicon. I am enlightening. I am enlightening you. Listen, let me tell you something, man. If you were trying to study for your SAT verbal, this is the place. If you want to know about the Raiders, this is the place. I mean, so what word did I make up? This man said that I made up the word extrapolate. Now, guys, Wasted don't like to get off a task because we were rocking and rolling, man. We were rocking and rolling. But I'm gonna have to show our guy Luis Calderon that Wasted always speaks the Queen's English. Extrapolate, extend the application of a method or conclusion, especially one based on statistics, to an unknown situation by assuming that existing trend will continue, or similar methods will be applicable. Extrapolate is the wasted word of the day. You wash your filthy mouth out with soap, Luis. The F is wrong with you. The disrespect. Yes, yes, yes. All right, guys, now let's get into it. Yo, my guy, Cane Town, Lame Town Raider is in a place, man. Yo, Wasted, give me your opinion on safety Thomas Harper. Now, guys, Harper is a player that, you know, we released some guys that we drafted. We released MJ Devonshire, if I'm not mistaken. I know that might have been one of the reasons why we got rid of, you know, one of the biggest mistakes in Raider history, right? That might be, I mean, one of the big reasons why. But this is a guy that the Raiders wanted to sign. The Chargers signed him. They cut him before camp, and we brought him in. Now, he got some snaps last year, right? So Thomas Harper is a guy that, you know, most of the time when you got a UDFA, right, he doesn't really play. But with the Raiders, he got some snaps. But I think that, you know, for me to sit up here and say that I'm super excited about him, I think that there's a lot. How can I say this? I think it's premature, right? I think it's premature. I think that we need to wait and see, right? Now, the Raiders are definitely excited about him. You know, I saw some articles about it, right? And the thing with Thomas Harper is, will he be a safety? Will he be a nickel, right? The Raiders have all these kind of tweener guys, these athletic guys like Isaiah Palmau, right? And I think Isaiah Palmau is a guy you can kind of pencil in, right? But we lost Trayvon Mary. Jeremy Chin, that's a man that you can pencil in, right? He's a veteran. They didn't bring him in for their health, right? So he's probably going to take those two positions. So what Thomas Harper, you're probably going to be looking to get him on the field, probably playing nickel, right? Now, Patrick Graham has done a great job in getting all of his players ready. He's found success using different guys and different packages and stuff like that. But, you know, Thomas Harper is a guy that is just a depth piece, man. And then you got to understand something. You got Trey Taylor. You have Chris Smith. You got a lot of guys here that we haven't seen a whole lot from. We got a young room. So, look, I'm not going to sit up there and put Thomas Harper over the rest of the young guys in that room. You have a lot of guys in that room that were drafted. You got a lot of guys in that room now that were brought in here for a reason, right? So, you know, it's going to be interesting. Now, you have guys like Trey Taylor that were not drafted by this regime, so they owe him nothing. But if I'm being honest, the guy is an explosive cat. Explosive. So, you know, Cane Town, I think the jury's out on Thomas Harper. I think people fall in love with certain players in OTA, right? People fall in love with the idea of certain players, right, based off of their athletic profile and stuff like that. Like Amari Gainer. Like Amari Gainer is a guy that I was high on last year. Amari Gainer is a guy that, you know, for me, he looks the part. You know, I remember when Amari Gainer was at the University of North Carolina, and I also remember when he's at Florida State. Amari Gainer is a guy that I think the Raiders should invest in because of the fact that he's a kid who played with his hand on the ground and was converted to a linebacker position. He is a young guy. He's athletic. You know, he's a guy that you can develop. If you can take his physical talents and admire that with knowledge so he can play faster, then you have a hell of a player that you got for next to nothing, right? And I feel the same way about Thomas Harper. But look, if I'm being real, we don't really know until these guys go out there, put them pads on, right, and go and play against live bullets. That's pretty much, you know, the way I feel about all of this stuff. It is. There's a lot of conjecture. There's a lot of hype. There's a lot of guys that, you know, they look the part. They're running around out there. But at the end of the day, OTAs is essentially team building. It is no pads, it's walkthroughs, it's not a whole lot of contact. And I'm not saying that it's not a competitive situation, but the true story will be told when them pads get on. Shout out to everybody in the room. My guy, UA Mel. If we're going back to more cover 3, that calls for a safety that can cover sideline to sideline. UA Mel, and the thing is this, right? We're going to have to see who emerges in that situation, right? Because Jeremy Chin is not that safety right now. Isaiah Powell is the guy that I feel like can cover, up there. I think he's probably one of our best cover safety. I think Isaiah Powell can kind of play that role similar to what Tyrann Mathieu has done throughout his career. That guy that's kind of that tweener, that roaming safety. I think that's the kind of player that we're getting. Jeremy Chin is a free safety to his heart. He's a guy that you can put him up at the line of scrimmage. He could be stout against the run. He's a hellacious tackler. He's a damn good athlete. But I think Jeremy Chin is they went out there and they got him for a reason. I think Jeremy Chin is going to be the guy that is penciled in at free safety, man. Shout out to my guy, Simply AF. And we're gonna let you jump the line here. Wait a second. How much better can Geno be behind a line that can give him a second or two? Bro, listen, if you can give any quarterback more time, it is nothing but right. There's nothing but right. That's what quarterbacks covet. That's what makes a quarterback in this league. If you have a quarterback that is not under duress, then man, you have a terrific situation going there, man. But listen, what I will say to you guys, and I am not the guy that comes in here and tries to sell you on hope. We've had enough of that over the years, Raider Nation. You guys know what time it is. You understand the assignment. Yo, measured optimism this offseason, guys. Zero hopium, all facts. Whomever gets the job gets the job. I don't have a dog in the race. The only dog that I have in the race is how well this team plays when it all comes together. And that's the long and the short of it, man. That is the long and the effing short of it. Shout out to my guy. Yo, my guy Nav Man. Nav Man's in the place. Where's Nav Man at? Raider Shield family. Oh, what's the deal, Nav Man? Nav Man, where you been, man? Where have you been, Nav Man? What the F is going on up in here, Nav Man? Have you abandoned the wasted talent army? God! Wow! My Lord! It's been a month of Sundays that man's been here. Shout out to my dog. So, guys, look. So let's get into some of this, right? Let's get into some of this. Right now, we got our guy, Dante Thornton, balling out in camp. Geno Smith has been balling. Geno Smith has been looking great, man. He's been looking great. I love the fact that Pete Carroll and Geno Smith are reunited. He looks like a reinvigorated man, right? And then we got to ask ourselves something, right? We got to ask ourselves something. There are some linebackers that are out there. And now when we start talking about post-June 1st, right? There's a linebacker that is out there that I think the Raiders should probably kick the tires on, man. And I want to know what you guys think about this. This is something that I've been kind of pounding the table for, man, for the last few years. It has not happened. You know what I'm saying? But let me ask you guys a question, man. What do you guys think about the Raiders going and kicking the tires on CJ Mosley, man? I think CJ Mosley, I think for the Raiders to go out there and go sign Jaylon Smith or to sign Devin White, I understand the spirit of that move, right? But if I'm being honest, I know that CJ Mosley can still play football. I don't necessarily know if those two other gentlemen have, the same level of football acumen and football left, right? So I got to ask you guys, man, what do you guys think about the Raiders going out there and signing CJ Mosley, man? I think that is nothing but right. I think that that's a guy that can kind of ease Tommy Eichenberg into that position. And I think that CJ Mosley is an upgrade over Robert Spillane. Immediate big-time contributor for the Raiders, right? Immediate. I mean, listen, we lost our whole linebacker room, right? Including Nate Hobbs, because Nate Hobbs is essentially a will linebacker, right? Even though he's a nickel. I mean, yo, we lost Spill, we lost Devon Diablo and Luke Masterson this offseason. But I'm going to be honest with you, man. When you start talking about linebackers, CJ Mosley is a guy. I think he'd be the best linebacker that we've had in the building in a very, very, very long time. Very long time, man. Like, see, we got to look at it like this, right? When you start talking about a guy like a CJ Mosley, right? Or Devin White or all of these guys, right? Landon Robert is a guy that, you know, has only totaled 3 pass breakups or less. The passer rating of, you know, opposing quarterbacks over the last 3 seasons has been 104. And shout out to the Raider Ramble too for this. You know what I'm saying? This is what we're dealing with. This is what we're dealing with, man. This is what we're dealing with, right? But CJ Mosley, right? Mosley was phenomenal when in his coverage back in, you know, 2023. He had a 90.6 grade. Pro Football Focus ranked him first in the entire NFL at his position, total of 13 most coverage snaps among linebackers and his peers in the meantime, right? I mean, which is super, super impressive. Like, Mosley just has been phenomenal, right? His 2024 campaign aside, right? He only appeared in 4 contests, but he's a 5-time Pro Bowler, has not missed a forced missed tackle that, you know, I mean, the guy's been phenomenal, bro. He's been phenomenal. Now, listen, Devin White, guys like that, you know, Jalen Smith, these are guys who at one time were stars in this league. But I think CJ Mosley still has more left in the tank. I think CJ Mosley can kind of be the Bobby Wagner of this defense. I mean, what are you guys thinking, man? What are you guys thinking? My guy, Snake Fist, with the $5 smackaroni wasted. The key to overall success depends a lot on the O-line. What you think is the weakest link on the O-line, including the rookies? Snake Fist, I got you, my brother. Let me touch on the linebacker position real quickly. We're going to jump into that definitely. But appreciate you, bro, for supporting the channel, man. My guy, Rudy Vet Russo, sup? What's up, homie? Yo, Rudy, I know you made a mistake and put an N instead of an M, because if you put an N and it says sup, honey, I am blocking you. Effing blocked Rudy the Vet Russo. But also, I know because the N is right next to M on the keyboard, Rudy, you get a mulligan. But he said, all systems acquired soon, my brother. Thanks for the wisdom. My guy Rudy is got a podcast that is about to start. I'm trying to let you guys know something. Get with it or get lost. The man is going to be talking Raider ball. It's going to be talking fishing. It is going to be a most splendiferous occasion, guys. Splendiferous. Splendiferous. So, yo, when Rudy gets rocking and rolling, we will have an announcement on this channel. We're going to let him pull up, and y'all going to go and support our brother Rudy the Vet Russo, man. I'd appreciate nothing else, man. My guy, Raider Shield family, Navman 93 himself. He goes, if nothing else, CJ will be good for the room. Fact, no, bro, look, it's nothing but right. Nothing but effing right. Let's go. Let's go. So, guys, look, and real quick, we got Ferrari. He's going to take a leap this year. But see, guys, just because you have one good linebacker, and I don't know why a lot of people in our fan base, we got to wrap our mind around, maybe we can have 2 and 3 really good linebackers. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, I don't think Amari Gainer's a Mike linebacker anyway. They don't really, you know, CJ Mosley is a middle linebacker, bro. I think Amari Gainer is a classic outside pass rushing linebacker. He's a guy who played with his hand on the ground. He's also a guy that you can put in different, he can almost be And I'm not calling him Khalil Mack, but he can be a guy that you can use. He's that tweener kind of player that has speed. He is a guy that the Raiders can really, really get creative using. So just because Amari Gainer takes a step forward, if he's good and he can give you 5, 6, 7 sacks, he can give you a bunch of tackles, right? What's wrong with having a guy like CJ Mosley that can turn his hips and actually cover downfield? Oh my God, can you imagine? Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Now, guys, it's the thing. Now, we got to get back to what my guy, Kimpo, asked, right? He goes, wasted. The key to our overall success depends a lot on the O-line. What you thinking is the weakest link on the O-line, including the rookies? Now, look, this is the thing, man. We are hearing that Caleb Rogers is showing up and showing out. But, guys, this is all, conjecture, right? Now, you guys know I'm a big Caleb Rogers fan. I personally think that Caleb Rogers, from what I see on tape from this dude, I think this guy is probably going to start, man. He is the kind of guard that the Raiders need, man. He is a freaking monster. He's a freaking monster. I mean, he's a record holder in college, man. You know what I mean? At Texas Tech, and he's always been a Raider, right? Caleb Rogers had 5 years at Texas Tech, right? Using the COVID year exception on his eligibility. So Rogers was named a 2-time All Big 12 honorable mention, right? Which is huge. It's not like he was playing in the Patriot League, right? In 61 career appearances, Rogers holds 55 career starts. So he played a lot of snaps. And now this is one of the things that I spoke about when the great Violator was on the show. Shout out to Violator. Shout out to Unk, man. Appreciate him for pulling up. But I talked about the Raiders replacing a lot of the snaps that they lost. There were a lot of veteran players that the Raiders let walk out of the door, and rightfully so. There were people that were not long for the Raiders and that we expected the Raiders to let go of, right? But what the Raiders did, as opposed to going out there and just getting young potential, they got young players that have contracts that are lower. They got young, healthy guys that played a lot in college, man. Played a lot in college. I mean, like, Caleb Rogers is a guy that is going to come into this league a full-grown man. He was named a 2-time All Big 12 honorable mention, and he has the second most career starts in the program's history. 61 career appearances, 55 career starts, man. Unbelievable, man. So he is a guy that I think that he can get closer to his ceiling probably now, right? I think that he's a mature young man, and I think, reps. That is how you get good. Reps. And one thing about Caleb Rogers I love about him, man, is that, he didn't opt out of the Texas Tech's bowl game. A lot of people opt out of the bowl games when, they're up to be drafted because he wanted to play with his backup quarterback. I love that, man. He's a first-team player. Rogers was one of the few Red Raiders who didn't opt out of the 2024 Liberty Bowl simply because he wanted to play with his backup, man, Will Hammond, who got to start due to an injury, man. And that was dope of him to do that, man. Like even John Spytek spoke about loving Caleb Rogers' energy. He's a big passion guy, and this is something we need. He flies around the field. Anytime he got the chance to play football, he did. See, so we got guys that love the game. They love ball. See, you got to understand something, right? When you talk about the Raiders and how they went about their business as far as the draft goes and the offseason goes and free agency and all those great things, those bells and whistles that we wanted, that we were waiting for. Sometimes the flashy move is not the move that will sustain. It is making the right move, the person who's the right archetype and personality for this organization. The Raiders went out there and got players that truly love to play the game, and I love it, man. I love it. I love it. So, look, when we start talking about who's the weakest link, right, and I kind of went all the way around the world to say this, right? People would say Alex Kappa, right? But Alex Kappa, I don't want to disrespect Alex Kappa. Alex Kappa is a guy who's played at a very, very high level in this league. He's played at a very, very high level in this league. Now, what I do know is I know what Colt Miller is. Colt Miller is a pro's pro. He is one of the 15 best players at his position. When he's healthy, he's even higher than that, right? Then when you deal with a Jackson Powers Johnson, just from what I can see, just from what I saw last year, unless, our eyes are deceiving us, I feel like we knocked it out of the park last year in last year's draft, right? If we could say anything about last year's draft, Coupon Tom knocked it out of the park with them first 2 picks. I think that Coupon Tom picked 2 cornerstone players for the foreseeable future. And he picked guys that are all pro level guys, right? If they can continue in the trajectory that they with Brock Bowers, and I'm talking about Brock Bowers, and I am talking about Jackson Powers Johnson. These are 2 guys that can be all NFL, all pros. All pros. Could we say it again? All pros. These are the 2 guys that we got. So Jackson Powers Johnson, check. He's not the weakest link. DJ Glaze played phenomenal last year. Right? For him to be a rookie, we expect for him to take that leap forward. But I would say whomever is the left guard, right? Because I think Dylan Parham is going to win that job. And I think too much is made about how bad Dylan Parham is supposedly, right? Like Dylan Parham is undersized. Does he leave some to be desired from a physical standpoint? Yes, 100%. Right? Would we like Dylan Parham to be a little bigger? Would we like Dylan Parham to be, more physical? We're Raider fans, right? This is what we love physical football. We love physical football. But Dylan Parham has not been a bad player at all. He really hasn't. And I think that, look, the one thing that Dylan Parham has to do is stop giving up sacks, because he gave up 5 last year, right? And that's really the only fault that I can find with Dylan Parham. But Dylan Parham is a very highly graded lineman, and I want to show you guys, right? Dylan Parham, man, has a 74.3 overall grade from PFF, man. And I know PFF is not the gospel. His pass blocking grade 67.5. He is 45 out of a possible 136 guards last year. And his run blocking grade is 18th out of 136 guards. Now, this is a guy that played 882 offensive snaps. Played phenomenal. 3 penalties, 5 sacks allowed. Now, those numbers right there are the ones that need to be cleaned up, right? So he ranks, pretty highly. Snaps at right guard, 882. 23rd, man. He had a lot of snaps. 2 hits allowed. 5 sacks allowed, which was terrible. 3 penalties. He was 74th, which isn't bad. Pressures allowed, 36. He was terrible. Offensive snaps played. He was 49th. Run block, pass block. So this is a durable guy. This is a guy that, to be honest with you, if Dylan Parham can trend in a positive direction and be developed by this staff, this is a guy who can trend into being a solid football player for the Raiders. Solid. I think Dylan Parham is going to get the ire of Raider Nation. I think that Dylan Parham might be the new Andre James. He might be the guy that is statistically successful, but kind of gets beat on by pundits and fans of the Raiders. Now, when we start talking about development, I want to get into, Pete Carroll's son, our offensive line coach, and some of the people that he's developed throughout his career to kind of give you guys some faith in him, right? My guy, Rorschach Raider, glad no crowns up in here. Shogun talent. Yeah, man, I got to find something different, man. I don't want no crowns, man. I'm good. Appreciate you, my dog. Appreciate you, my dog, Rorschach, for supporting the channel with the $2 slapper. $2 slapper. My guy, Raider C with another $2 slapper Rooney. I'm taking over the chat. Give me your top 5 rappers. Dylon, and Dylon. 100%. I spit hot fire. His channel isn't started yet, but when Rudy's channel is started, we will be putting it on the air. Hug D's, man. Hug Dizzle is in the place to be. Hug D's, man. The Ozempic boss. It's like, nah, Hug D's has been putting that work in, man. Don't disrespect him, man. Hug, what it is, man. Hug looking like a stewed prune now. Getting all shriveled up. Hug D's, I'm mad proud of myself. 43 pounds is crazy to me. I may actually have a shape other than the pair. Hug D's losing 43 whole pounds, man. I mean, shout out to Hug D's, man. He cut a 10-pound wart off his back. Yo, my guy, Raider Shield family, my dog. At Red Nation Unlimited, feature waste talent. I would like to chat with you outside of your show. Some shit is hurting my head outside of football. Maybe you can help me wrap my head around. Raider Shield family, listen, man. Hit me in my inbox. You let me know what I can do to help you, my brother. Hit me in my inbox on Twitter or even on Instagram, brother. You let me know, Raider Shield. My guy, man. Yo, my guy, J. Rose in the place, man. S. Dot with the $10 slap-a-rooney, man. So, guys, listen. So, if you're asking me, I think the weakest link on the line could possibly be Alex Kappa because of him coming off of injury and him not playing a whole lot. But we're gonna have to see. But I think Dylan Parham is a guy that is going to have to fight for every rep. He has to take that step forward. And hopefully he can be developed. He's a young player. He's a homegrown guy. We drafted him. I'm rooting for Dylan Parham. I really am. My guy, S. Dot. Okay, wasted. Cut the horse pucky. Just how much can Caleb bench? 225? How strong was we? To hell with guessing and college talk, fantasizing. How many reps? S. Dot. Bro, can I ask you a question, S. Dot? Is bench press the common denominator on every guard ever in the National Football League, S. Dot? Because look, there's another part of your body that you need to use to be a good offensive lineman. It's the lower half of your body. So are we're gonna see how much he can squat, how fast he is? Like, these are things that you got to consider, S. Dot. It's not just bench press, bro. There's a lot of strong bums in the National Football League. A lot of strong bums. So you can get the F up out of here. Like, you talking about Laki Tasi, right? Kappa's position is going to be taken by Laki Tasi. He is on a time limit bar. Bro, you like the idea of Laki Tasi. Laki Tasi is a rugby player, bro. So you're telling me that this guy that's a developmental guy, right, is going to come in here and take a guy who would have started in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago? Just going to take that man's job. Like, how many snaps has Laki Tasi played, bro? How many snaps? How many snaps? They don't even know where the hell they want to play him at. They had him in here as a guy on the defensive side of the damn ball. Listen, is he strong? Yes. Is he 347 pounds? Yes. But did they bring him in to be a defensive tackle? That's also effing yes. Get the F up out of here with that crap, S. Dot.
Angry man, what you doing here?
Man, set your ass down.
Yeah, S. Dot, set your ass down. The F is wrong with you. My guy, Lord Buddy Bear's in a place, man. Not having Andre James anymore is a huge improvement. Buddy Bear, see, that's the thing. Like, Andre James getting dominated by high-end defensive tackles was always a point of ire for me, right? But Andre James was not as bad as we made him, bro. Neither is Parham. You talk about if. How the fuck can you tell me, excuse my language, I know this is a family show, and I don't have my bleep thing. How can you tell me that a guy that is in his third or fourth year, I think he's in his fourth year, he's hit his ceiling already? S. Dot, man, look, I got tremendous love for you, S. Dot. You are effing wrong. You were wrong. And like my God, Raiders Shield family says sacks allowed for guards can be skewed when the tackle misses his assignment inside as well, which did happen on film. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, my guy, Hug Dizzle, man, with the $50 bizarre. Wasted, my brother. Salute to you, the chat, and the greatness of the future that lies within the Raiders. It is not a show if you are not giving me ish. Hugs and stuff, you bastard. Thank you, my brother. Appreciate you for always supporting, bro. The mod father extraordinaire. Hey, Hug, man, I'm trying to get on the program you on, bro. You know, like, this is the thing. I'm comfortable at 218. That's when I'm comfortable. Right now, I'm not comfortable. I am 238 right now. I need to lose 20 pounds. So after I get off the air, because I was slacking on my macking, I need to get in the gym and get back down to 218. So by the end of the summer, I need to get. I put a suit on here. I went to an event with my wife. Shout out to my wife. You know, we went to a scholarship event. You know, and we're gonna do. Guys, I want to know what you guys think, man. We're gonna do a benefit here for a scholarship program, of some people that I support for the city of Newark. Is the HBCU scholarship ride is something that is very, very, very near and dear to my heart. I want to support historically Black universities. You know what I'm saying? My daughter is going to an HBCU. I was a product of one, you know, and I want to support. So, guys, I really, really, really would like for you guys to pull up to that show. We're gonna put this thing together. I'm trying to schedule some real good guests, and we're gonna keep it all the way player like that. But my guy, Hug D's, man, you are much man. Appreciate you, my brother. but S dot, you cannot tell me that everything is about bench press reps, bro. Everything, no, so everything is about bench press reps, bro. You said he's a saloon door. Part of him is a saloon door for sacks. Put your strongest. Whoa. S dot, you about to go to the gulags for that comment. Y'all, listen, I'm not going to even read that. I will not dignify that comment. I want y'all to read this. Read this comment. This man said, Parham is a saloon door for sacks. Put your strongest and biggest D. Yo, you got to chill. S dot, you're going to the gulags. You watch your filthy mouth. This is a freaking family show, S dot. The F is wrong with you. You got to chill, S dot. Chill, God. Chill. You, man.
Shut your brain, man.
S dot, what the F is going on? This is a family show. Anthony. S dot, I'm telling you, bro. S dot, I think it might be time to put you in the gulags for a few seconds. Somebody put S dot in the gulags for 300 seconds. That's it. Thank you, Cisco. Let him know. And my dog, Hug these. Bench press reps are just chest strength. Core, legs, and football IQ means more to an O-lineman. And this is exactly what I said. Thank you, Hug D's, for enlightening a plebeian like our guy S dot. The F is wrong with you. My guy UA Mel is in a place, man, with a $5 smackaroonie. Let the crying about the O-line begin. We clearly need an O-line more than an effing running back, which is why we could have had T. Henderson in the second. And bro, I don't want to hear that. Get the F up out of here, UA Mel. Get the F up out of here. Here we go again with this crap. Ashton Genty was who we needed to draft, and I don't want to hear another thing. You are going to get unceremoniously blocked. Rick Rock, who the F are you to come in here disrespecting the great and powerful Wasted talent? Said Wasted has Daniel Jones hit. What the F are you talking about? Talking about my hips? Rick Rock, go to the gulags. You're going to the gulags, Rick Rock. You watch your filthy mouth. No effing Daniel Jones. What the F is wrong with you? You checking out my hips for? Yo, this show has gone into the toilet. Somebody put him in the gulags. I mean, my God. What's wrong with you?
What's the tutorial that says you know what the fuck you doing?
For really? Block Rick Rock right now. 300 seconds. Gulags for you. The gulags. And let me tell you something. This will not be tolerated in my chat. The F is wrong with you, Rick Rock. My guy Giovanni B is in the place, man. If we talking guards, Parham is okay. If we talking Kappa, Parham is a beast. Kappa is an effing bum. Probably don't even own a bench press. Now look, let's do this, right? Let's do this. Let's do a little Kappa research. Let's do a little Kappa research, man. You spell it with a C. Screwed up. My bad. Now let's talk about this Alice Kappa situation, right? Because this is a great conversation, guys. It's a great conversation. It's what Waiter Nation Unlimited is all about. Now, Alice Kappa, wow, grades are horrendous. 2024, 50.5 overall grade, 39.7 pass blocking grade. I mean, towards the basement of the National Football League, 54.9 run blocking grade, 8 sacks allowed, 2 penalties, over 1,100 offensive snaps played. He's 4th in the league in snaps played, 2nd in pass block snaps played. So he played a lot for Cincinnati, right? Total pressure allowed. Now, I'm hearing that Alice Kappa is another guy who has been wronged and shamed by playing next to crappy offensive line. But Alice Kappa on paper, the optics don't look good, ladies and gents. The optics don't look effing good, man. They don't. And Giovanni B might have had the comment of the day, man. I have to let him cook. Oh, let Giovanni B cook. Gotta let him cook, man. Got to let him cook. CGR, yo, you throw one more assortment of eggplants up in my chat, you will get your wrench taken away, and you will also be thrown to the gulags. My guy, simple as F in a place, man. Yo, thank you, Giovanni B, for supporting the channel, bro. Thank you, brother. It is always greatly appreciated, man. My guy, simple AF. Wasted, you're the GM. Do you keep someone who hasn't played up to the potential, or do you draft or sign a replacement? Beyond it, bro, that is such a broad ranging question, bro. It depends, right? Because there are things that are involved, right? Now, we know that the National Football League, if nothing else, is a business, right? So what are the contract implications behind me getting rid of and or keeping said player, right? Right? Then how high is that ceiling for the potential of said player, and how close to or not close to that potential have they played? Are they almost there? Are they nowhere near there? So, all right, let's, as a case study, right? Let's use the Tyree Wilson thing, right? Now, Tyree Wilson was drafted in the top 10. Tyree Wilson, if you are picking players to play defensive line and you sight unseen, no tape, no nothing, and you see Tyree Wilson standing there, there's not too many players in the National Football League, if you see that man standing there, that you would pick over him. Maybe Myles Garrett, and then who else, right? So Tyree Wilson looks like Tarzan and has, and I don't want to be disrespectful, but some people will say he's played like Jane, right? Now, the idea of what Tyree Wilson should be, you would keep him because you have him under a rookie deal. You control his bird rights for his 5th year if he breaks out this year. And the thing that they saw in him as a prospect is worth gambling on. Because you got money tied. It's a whole mess of reasons why you keep the player with the potential. Now, if it gets to a point where having a player like Tyree, so you're dependent on Tyree Wilson, right? You got Max Crosby. You don't have a whole lot on the defensive line, which is not our situation, right? Because we do have a guy that can come right in and we know could play at a higher level than him, and Malcolm Kuntz, right? If you don't have a Malcolm Kuntz and you need that pass rush from the other side, right? Then that is when you sign someone. And you can still keep him. It's not mutually exclusive to just getting rid of him and jettisoning him from the team. But if you have a situation where you know that you're dependent on him and you don't know whether you can, that is when you go out and you go sign a veteran pass rusher that has gotten it done, right? A guy like a Yannick Ngakoue. Not now, because Yannick is a little long in the tooth, but there are players out there like Jadeveon Clowney who have gotten it done at a certain level. That's right. The gulags are dark and scary. Don't you be a part of the gulags. My guy, Lord Buddy to the Biz Air. Shout out to my guy, Lord Buddy Bear, man. I know it's a Raiders show, but curious. What's your thoughts of Tibbs being fired? I'm excited to see how the D-line performs this year, hearing good things. Now, me being a Knicks fan, if I'm being honest, I wanted Tibbs out of here. I did because I think the way that Tibbs coaches, you know, the way he handles the bench, the way he handles the young players, I think that this team needed Tibbs, you know, because he's a great, great defensive mind in the league. He's one of the great defensive minds, but I do not think that he is a great head coach. And I think that Mike Malone is the guy that Knicks need to hire. His father, you know, has been a guy that was a former Knicks coach, was an assistant for the Bad Boy Pistons. That'd be great. Now, guys, I don't know if you guys saw on the Rush podcast with our guy Jackson Powers Johnson, but he spoke about how he wants smoke with Cam Hayward. He wants smoke with Cameron Hayward, man. He wants all the smoke. He feel like he want to get his lick back, and I love that. I love that spirit from JPJ, right? But I'm hearing that, yo, Cam Hayward had something to say back to JPJ. Yo, so Cam Hayward, man, I'm gonna show it to you right now. This is like breaking news, right? Shout out to everybody out there. Shout out to everybody in the chat that's supporting the show, man. Appreciate y'all, man. Shout out to everybody still rock with your brother Wasted after we at the 59-minute mark, guys. We at the 59-minute mark. I know you. This is a lot of show today. It's a lot of show. But Cameron Hayward, man, on SI.com, Las Vegas Raiders, Cameron Hayward sends a message to Jackson Powers Johnson. Las Vegas Raiders and Pittsburgh Steelers have had a long-standing rivalry dating all the way back to when the Raiders were in Oakland, continuing to when the Raiders moved to Los Angeles, then back to Oakland, and now to Las Vegas. And when the Raiders and the Steelers play each other, you already know it is going to be a good matchup to see. Those two teams do not like each other one bit. This week, these two teams are back making headlines with one another. Started with the Raiders offensive lineman Jackson Powers Johnson said on his teammate Max Crosby's podcast, The Rush. Crosby asked Powers Johnson about his welcome to the National Football League moment as he was a rookie last season, and the Raiders took on the Steelers in Week 6. And in that game, Jackson Powers Johnson played at left guard, and he allowed Hayward to get to his quarterback for a sack. It was the first sack that Jackson Powers Johnson has ever given up. I'd say playing against Cam Hayward and giving up my first sack ever in my life. God, dog, he ain't never given up a sack in his life. He said the Raiders offensive lineman Jackson Powers Johnson on the Rush. I would have to say that he didn't beat me. I beat myself. I overset. He got me. He said some choice words after that, and I really hope he comes back for another year. That's all I'm going to say. Damn. So look, so I want to get into what Cameron Hayward said, right? He goes, well, certainly his comments, Jackson Power said, he had a response to him. He goes, hey, man, I was close a lot of times. I just, I delivered the baby at the moment, Hayward said on this on his Not Just Football podcast. He goes, I don't remember what I said, I tend to black out in those moments. But that wasn't the only time he got beat. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be honest, too. This is the other thing, Hayward said. He's saying this, and we don't even have him scheduled this year. That's kind of funny. So now you talking stuff when you had all this time to even bring this up out of Hayward. So Cam Hayward is talking a little spicy to our man JPJ. Now, Cameron Hayward's a Jersey guy. You know what I'm saying? The son of Craig Ironhead Hayward, a Passaic legend, But at the end of the day, man, we might see them in the playoffs, man. I would love that. Would love for that. I want for my guy JPG to get his name back, man. Yeah, Graham Cam, listen, man, it's nasty work. It has been a filthy, filthy show from a chat perspective. My guy David Walker is in a place to be wasted. I agree. I think Rodgers may be a starter. David Walker, thank you for the $2 smackaroni. I agree too, my brother. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, Michael Smith, yes. Yes, and let that be a lesson to you, S-Dot. Has S-Dot returned? Has he returned? Let that be a lesson to you, S-Dot, with your crap. My guy, UML, will Genty be that much better than T. Henderson? No. Will Mimbu be that much better than DJ effing Glaze? Yeah, damn Skippy. People forget how long it took to find Colton Miller. You don't pass on left tackles. Bro, I really think that sit back and watch the show, UML. Think you sleeping on this kid, bro. Think you sleeping, and I think that the delineation between Ashton Genty and everyone else is a little different. It is a little. I totally agree. We've been arguing about this for months. We will see. Listen, I never thought I would quote Drake, but we gonna see. Listen, we all know that we could have had Jalen Carter, but guess what, man? We don't. Jalen Carter's a beast. And I'm going to be honest with you, bro. I'm rooting for Tyree because he's a Raider, man. And that's how I'm going to look at it. What's going on here, yo? Yo, my guy Raider Shield fan me. If he wanted to mash you out the channel, he would. Trust me. It's his way of running his content. That's why his channel does very well, because he doesn't change personality for his channel. Who we talking about? What are we talking about, yo? What are we talking about? Raider Shield, what are we talking about, my brother? But yeah, yo, my guy, Sean Thoughts. Tyree showed flashes. We knock him because he didn't live up to our expectations of being drafted so high. He has slowly improved. Need to make the jump. Yeah, Sean Thoughts. The difference between him being Cleve Farrell 2.0 and him being Tyree Wilson and being a guy that's been productive is this year. This year is the onboarding point for him to be a player, because it should be no more. He can't play fast. He doesn't know what's going on. He's now a vet in this league. I don't want to hear it no more. Listen, my mom used to say it. It's either shit or get off the pot. That is what it is. Hug D's, what the F is going on? What are you talking about? This guy is talking about gooning. What the F is going on? What is going on here? What are you guys talking? What the F is going on here? UA Mel, Hug D's, what is going on here? My guy said, this is why I love your channel. You go beyond the numbers. It's for your analysis. Thank you, Simple AF, man. I appreciate that, man. I got people in here talking about all kinds of filth. My guy S. Dot is back. Caleb's squat max is 640 pounds, which is guard perfect, but his upper strength is a mystery. Until we know what he can do, 28 plus bench press reps, I can't say he is all that good yet. Get that F up out of here, man. I want to hear that crap. And that's the thing. If bench press reps were everything, Crosby wouldn't even be a thing, bro. It's not everything. Look, I'm not saying that it doesn't matter at all, because it does matter. But bench press it ain't everything, man. It's like how 40 time isn't everything for offensive players and defensive players. It's not everything, bro. If it was that easy, bro, it would be easy to draft linemen. JPJ only brought it up because he was asked a question. Wasn't talking mess. Hayward just trying to swing his. Oh, whoa. Listen, Omni Snow, haven't seen you here in a long time. Appreciate you. Welcome. You are always welcome over here at Raider Nation Unlimited. But let me tell you something, Omni Snow. You have to watch your filthy mouth. Watch it. Yo, my guy, Tyler Dance. Yo, wait, so what's up, boss? Where's the Raiders hosting training camp? I think that they're hosting training camp from. They're not, they're not going to Napa. I think they're hosting training camp from their facilities, from what I understand. Gotta agree with Wasted. Bench press and everything. It's not, man. It is not, man. Yo, listen, it is a whole, your legs, your core. There's a lot, bro. And then this is the one part of being, a NFL player, right? A lot of this stuff too is agility, right? It's agility. It is agility. No, and you know what? I'm wrong. I think the Raiders are they are going to training camp in Costa Mesa, California, and then they head back to Intermountain Health Performance Center. Yeah, I mean, I know that's what they did last year. I don't know yet, man. I don't know yet. They said the Raiders were expected to host their stuff at Napa. I really, guys, you know what? That's a good question. I need to find out. I'm not going to give you guys an answer. I don't know, man. And that's right. Bruce Almighty, man. 34 bench press reps proves my point. Of course, man. But I from what I understood, the Raiders, I think they're staying in Henderson. That's what I heard. I heard that they were trying to go to Napa and they weren't allowed to. Right. So I kind of lost track. Are they allowed to go to Napa? Because if they go to Napa, that's dope for all the Southern California fans, right? Yo, my guy, S-Dot. It is for the middle of the line. Bench presses everything, along with max squat and 600 plus. That's why the Eagles are whooping everybody's ass on a tush push. You can't stop that shit. There's more to it than that, S-Dot. I heard they were staying in Henderson. I just don't listen. It was something that it was in one ear and out the other, and I forgot. I'm not gonna lie to you. I probably should have wrote it down. I will get you a consistent answer. Yo, and your boy Q said they're staying in Napa, and I heard that. Shout out to your boy Q. Guys, let me ask you guys a question. What would you guys think? And we're gonna get into the offense. Since we're talking offensive line, I'm gonna get into Brendan Carroll before we get out of here, right? But guys, let me ask you a question. What do you guys think about me doing a show with a Raider legend, right? Another Raider legend, a guy that has been a pun of the Raiders. What do you guys think about me doing the show with JT the Brick? Guys in the chat, how receptive would you guys be to me doing the show with JT, man? JT the Brick, man. Hey, guys, if you guys want to see me do a show with JT, give me some ones in the chat. Give me some ones in the chat. Ones in the chat, fire, that would be dope. Ones in the chat. Ones in the chat. Let's get the ones. Let's get the ones in the chat, yeah. So guys, and we're gonna check that out. But guys, there was an article by Matt Holder today, right? It was on Pete Carroll's son. And they were talking about players that were developed under Brendan Carroll, Jordan Morgan, and Jonah Savanea. And we wanted to get into this right quick. Now the Raiders are ushering in a new era, and we have a new offensive line coach. We still have Joe Philbin on the coaching roster and everything, but Pete Carroll's son, Brendan Carroll, is our offensive line coach, and the majority of his experience has been working for his dad. And a lot of people are concerned about the nepotism. Now, I don't know why, because the National Football League is filled with nepotism, right? You got, Steve Belichick, and you have, guys like Kyle Shanahan, and, some of the best coaches in the National Football League are someone's kid. Brian Schottenheimer and a lot of these guys, man, Sean McVay, that is what the league is built on, is nepotism, if we're being honest, right? And the only time it's not built on nepotism is when you're a player, because if you don't have the goods, you don't have the goods. But Carroll spent 2011 to 2014 at the University of Miami. He was the tight ends coach during his first 2 years, and the leading wide receivers during those 2 years. I think he led the wide receivers, and then the Hurricanes hired Mario Cristobal, the coach of the tight ends, in 2013, right? For record-keeping purposes, Cristobal didn't end up coaching at Miami that year, and leaving school just 6 weeks later to join Nick Saban's staff at Alabama. But Carroll remained the receivers coach, right? So from 2011 to 2012, the U sent 3 tight ends to the pros: Clive Walford, Chase Ford, and Asante Cleveland, right? Ford and Cleveland were undrafted free agents who didn't do much in the NFL, and Walford made the most significant of the bunch. He played for the Raiders, right? During Carroll's 2 years at Miami as receiving coach, he helped send 6 wideouts to the league, including Philip Dorsett, Alan Hearns, Braxton Berrios. Now, these are names that you guys have heard. Alan Hearns was a beast, Philip Dorsett was a beast, and Braxton Berrios played pretty well, right? They were well established when Carroll took over, though, right? Because, Hearns was a senior when he came there, so we can't award him that, right? Now, Brendan Carroll also, throughout his coaching journey, spent time at the University of Arizona, right? And his time in the desert bodes well for his ability to develop offensive linemen, as he helped develop a couple of top 40 picks, right? Now, Jordan Morgan went to Arizona as a 3-star recruit, right? He left as a first-team All-Pac-12 performer before becoming the 25th overall selection in the 2024 draft by the Green Bay Packers, and after working out with the Raiders' current O-line coach for 3 years. And similarly, Jonah Savanea was also a 3-star recruit by 24/7 Sports. He blossomed into an honorable All-Pac-12 mention, selected while playing 2 positions, right tackle and right guard. And Savanea went on to earn more recognition this past fall, earning an honorable mention All-Pac-12, All Big 12, and becoming the 37th overall pick by the Miami Dolphins in the draft. And Carroll spent the 2024 campaign at Fish at Washington, right? So last season didn't bode well for the coach's resume. The Huskies struggled up front. They were 17th out of 18 teams in the Big Ten, and 46.9 team pass blocking grade by Pro Football Focus, right? And they were 15th on the ground, right? But we got to be fair to Coach Carroll, right? Washington's new coaching staff was tasked with replacing all 5 starters from the previous season, right? So tackles Troy Fontenot and Rogers Rosegarden went to the NFL, while they're sending Parker Blaseford and Keelan DeBoer went to Alabama, and they left, right? And the guards, Nate Kellepo and Julius Balo, transferred to Ole Miss, right? So they were pretty much playing with a skeleton crew. So I don't want to put that on Carroll, right? But his previous campaign we did really well, right? Now, last year, it was rough. He didn't have the dogs in the fight. He had a lot of guys leave. And I'm going to be honest with you, man. What he did with Morgan and Savanea gives me a lot of hope what he can do with Caleb Rogers and Charles Grant. Charles Grant is a special athlete too, man. I expect to see a lot out of Charles Grant, man. A lot. A lot, man. So let me get back in here, man. So, guys, I wanted to read that to you guys. I want to know what you guys think, right? Hug these. Just like leverage beat strength, why do you think young players are taught to break down and be low? Hug these. This is coming from a former Pop Warner coaching aficionado. UA Mel, no slouch to JT. He works for the team, so he can't be the JT of old. But he still rips his Giants, his real what are you talking? That's not his real team. He's a Raider fan. You don't do that to JT. Been with the Raiders for 30 years. He's a Raider. The tush push is all about leg strength, not arm strength. Plus, it's a minimal mental. So good. So, guys, you guys are receptive to the JT the Brick Show. We're going to get that going, man. Yo, my guy, Rudy Vet Russo. The Knicks are a horrible organization, the worst in New York sports. Worse than the Jets. Get the F up out of here, JT the Brick. Not JT the Brick, but Rudy the Vet Russo. I messed that up. I love JT. But we're going to get JT on the show, y'all. We gonna get him on, man. Yo, I'm in the place to be. Pay your bar tabs. 2025 playoff Raiders. Anthony Cabrera is in the place, man. Yo, listen. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think it's time to pull the train into the train station, guys. What do you think? I think it is time to pull the train to the train station, guys. We've got over 400 in the room. Get wasted with your brother, wasted. Tell a friend and tell a friend. I need you guys to share this thing out all over social media. Paper Chase, what the F are you talking? Yo, no. Big Body Brunson. It's my favorite Nick right now. Cat is, I'm super disappointed in Cat, man. And Cat from Jersey, too. And I don't consider Brunson a superstar. He's a very good player. He's a star, but I can't say that Big Body Brunson is a superstar. Like superstar is like young LeBron, Anthony Edwards, those kind of guys. I'm not gonna call him a star, a superstar. That's a lot. Ja Morant's a superstar. I'm not gonna call Brunson that. Yo, my guy Hug D's with another $50 bomb. Wasted. Tell these folks that technique beats weight room reps every damn time. Any level of youth coaching will tell you this. We teach technique to keep them safe and to give them an advantage. The biggest kids usually progress the slowest. Mic drop. And that's a fact, bro. Listen, bro, bench press reps are great. Strength is a core thing to have in football. And it's not something that just happens in a vacuum. But there are a lot of other skills and things that you have to take into consideration when you start talking about coaches and who they pick to start. And I don't think bench press reps is the end all and be all when it comes to these players, bro. I'm sorry, man. It's not the end all and be all. But guys, appreciate you guys. Love every single one of you guys. Hug these. Thank you for the support on the channel. Everyone, S. Dot, CGR, Alec M. I mean, all my guys, man. I appreciate Snake Fist, Raider Prophet, Kingtown Raider, man. Rorschach, Raider C, UA Mel, Giovanni B, Raider Fool Chris, man. Lord Buddy Bear, my guy David Walker, man. Appreciate all the love, all the support. Appreciate you guys for making this channel what it is every single night. I need for you guys to go out there, share this thing out on social media. Raider Nation Unlimited. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't. We got to get to 15K and we got to get into the 20s, y'all. We got to get into the 20s, bro. I need 20K. I need it. I need 20K. And I'm going to tell you why I need 20K, right? Because I feel like this channel and all of the work that we put in, I want to be in that echelon of the 20K guys. I feel like I'm a humbly say I feel like I deserve it. Do me a favor, y'all. Hit that subscribe button, man. Tell a friend and tell a friend. It is your man Wasted. We are getting up out of here, man. And look, we're gonna have some shows for y'all this week. Listen, you're gonna you guys are gonna be pleasantly surprised for some of the things we put on this week and beyond, man. I appreciate every single one of y'all. Love every single one of y'all, man. Thank you guys. Have a good night. We will see you later this week, probably tomorrow, and then definitely Thursday, man. But peace, y'all.